Hey, everybody, welcome back to the 10th floor, the elevator ride. It's me, Matt,
And it's me, Kat. Hi,
and
guys.
and we're here with somebody that needs absolutely no introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyway because I don't know how to get started otherwise. General Hospital legend, veteran actor, Hollywood superstar, Ken Schreiner is here with us. Hey, Ken.
Wait a minute. Let me go get the guy you just introduced. I'm not sure I fit any of those handles, but I thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for coming, and thank you for giving us so much of your life on TV, man. Like ever since you were a little tiny tot squirt, you've been out there on the camera showing everybody what you got, and just collecting adulation and fans, right?
Yeah, and I jumped around and did 9 other soaps and kicked off a few and got to live in New York a couple of times and Canada and so yes, it's been a great ride. As I'm closing in on 45 years in daytime television, just weeks away.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, happy anniversary. 45 years coming up really soon, and I mean, from Twitter, from social media, from everything that you've been sharing with us, you are living the top of life right now. You're having so much fun, just out there on the Vespa, Florida, Hollywood, Hollywood, Florida, back and forth.
Well, yeah, I get. I'm doing my best to stay busy, and we don't. Nobody works that much on General Hospital, so there's a lot of time. It's not like the old days where you were, doing a show 5 days a week, week after week after week, that you just lived for the 2 weeks of vacation you would get. Now it seems like most of us actors are on vacation all the time.
Right.
So the next thing is, well, what do you do with this time? How are you constructive with your downtime? So I seem to just keep riding Vespas and cars and shifting around, aimlessly roaming around.
You will find direction again. I know it. Maybe it'll be on GH. I mean, things are really good on GH right now. You had a hot week in the courtroom with Nina, Sonny, the whole Quartermain wily nonsense drama. Amazing, good work. I love to see it. I love the fact that you're in Nina's corner all the time.
Yeah, I certainly love working with Cynthia Watro. She's very fun, and the courtroom was a bit of a hard day because they had to do so much, and I'd flown back from Florida, and I was somewhat jet lagged, and I hadn't eaten really much, and then I had to go up and tape one scene after another, and thank God Cynthia had a bag of potato chips, and so she kept slipping me potato chips in between takes because I thought I didn't due to COVID, the commissary that we shoot at, the lot, is not open anymore, so you really can't get anything to eat if you're in dire needs of anything. So so thank God for my client Nina Reeves. She was there with the potato chips.
You're looking out for her. She's looking out for you right back. Got to keep that strength up to make sure that she can not have Wiley ultimately, unfortunately. But yeah. I mean, playing in the courtroom, playing law, playing lawyer on General Hospital is something that you've been doing for decades and decades and decades now. I actually recently went back to an early scene that you did with Peter Hansen as Lee Baldwin, where you were begging him to defend you in the Susan Moore issue. Or Scotty, not to combine Ken and Scotty together. It was such a blast. It was such an enjoyable experience to be able to see that, and also kind of see where Scotty comes from when it comes to being a lawyer, following in his father's footsteps, essentially.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that you mentioned that, 99% of the stuff that Scotty Baldwin has done that maybe deemed bad or not good was really a reason. It wasn't just that he who the hell's calling me? I better decline this. He was wronged or did something, or so yeah. When Lee defended me, I remember that whole storyline. I remember it seems like yesterday actually.
Well, Ma
But
and I were lucky enough to go to the General Hospital Convention, which is where you and I and all three of us interacted the first time while you were signing this autograph right there. Um,
right.
and in that convention, you mentioned specifically Lee and also Scotty's mom, which I can't recall the name of right now.
Oh, Susan Brown,
Susan,
yes.
yeah, and the actors
She
who
played
played
Gail.
them, just being really inspirational figures in your life when you joined the cast of General Hospital and really showed you the ropes. Um, is there anything
Yeah,
any more that you could say to that?
well, yeah, they showed me the ropes all right. I remember my first day, we were live on tape, which means that they at 2 o'clock, the actors are in all their sets and they're go from set to set, and it all happens in 45 minutes. They shoot the show, and the Susan and Peter, who played my parents, um, at lunchtime, I thought, oh, I guess we'll work on the scenes and da da da. No, they were off like a light to Griffith Park to play tennis, and I said, how do you guys play tennis and then come back and get ready and then we shoot the show at 2 live? And yeah, that's all they said was yeah. And that was my first day. I was like, kind of was ready since 8:30 in the morning. I didn't realize that there's now years later, I would have been off playing tennis myself.
Right. So over the years,
or something.
Has that energy kind of consisted with some of the younger actors that have joined the show? Is they're ready to go at 8:30, and then after a few weeks of seeing some of the veterans go and play tennis, that tension kind of relaxes a little bit?
Well, no, that there are definitely certain actors that love running the lines. There are other actors that really don't care about running the lines. So as an actor, when you go up to shoot your stuff, you've either run the lines with the other actor or you're going into it. You're going into enemy lines. You have no idea whether it's going to work. I mean, you've learned your lines, they've learned theirs. And if they come together, so be it. If not, there's trouble. So, that's how it works down there. You don't, sometimes actors don't have the time to run lines. So you hope for the best.
Yeah. And on GH right now, it's pretty much one and done right now, right? You get your one shot and hopefully it's the best.
The way they shoot now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a one-time only OTO.
Got to keep it moving, folks. Got to get the next next set of actors in on this set.
Yeah.
So which one are you, Ken? Are you a run the lines guy, or are you just like, let's just do it? Which one are you?
I'll run the lines for as long as any actor wants to run the lines. But to perform the scene, that has to be done when the cameras are rolling. I feel that, okay, we know where the lines come in, but what you're going to do and what I'm going to do in the scene, I'd like to make it feel like it's happening for the first time. I mean, I could sit down again right now and start this. Oh, Jesus, I had a tough time at the phone store today. I couldn't, I could start this all over again, but we already did that. Yeah. So I'd like to keep everything fresh and moving. So yes, I will run lines with actors all they want. It's just that I may not perform until the cameras are really rolling.
Gotta keep everything authentic, live, fresh, right there.
That's right. That's the way I see it.
I appreciate it. I know. I like it. I appreciate it. Really, there really is an energy that you bring to Scotty Baldwin every single time that you appear on the screen that not necessarily everybody else is able to capture as easily. So whatever it is that you're bringing, however many times you're running the lines or not, what you're doing right now, it's perfection in my eyes. I really, really enjoy everything that you bring to the show as Scotty, and I have for a long time. I personally came into General Hospital in the early 2000s, so this was Dad Scotty. This was Scotty on Port Charles Scotty is the one that I got to know first, family man Scotty. Now we have eccentric lawyer, which is super fun. And I love the levels that you've been able to bring to Scotty over these years.
Well, you take what you get and you try to make the best of it. Now, I think we have some fun stuff coming up for the 15,000 episode. I don't know when that airs, this week or next week. That was some fun stuff that we shot, and there's some other stuff. So yeah, there's some fresh Scotty stuff coming your way, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
I'm certain that I will. Absolutely. So Ma, you did the deep dive this week into yesteryear and such. What'd you discover?
Where? What?
I was talking about Ma. Sorry.
Oh, what did I? Well, I discovered what I knew already to a certain degree. I discovered the evolution of Scotty.
Yeah.
I've been watching you since since 1977. I know you hear that from all your old fans, but I indeed have been watching you, and I watch you evolve. Okay, back in the day, I used to tune in at 12 o'clock, and I couldn't wait to see Tad the Cat. But at 2 o'clock, I got to see Scotty Hottie. So that was good. And I just watched you, change, and you were always Scotty, and the young Scotty was always doing the wrong thing for the right reason.
Exactly. That's what I said.
He was always trying to do the right thing, but he always went around it the wrong way. It's just a long block for Scotty, a long block. And then
I also think that there was.
Go ahead, Ken, please.
No, I just said I think that he might have gone around the wrong block a number of times to do the right or wrong thing, but there was usually a girl leading him around that block. So, I didn't, it wasn't me doing it myself. There was some help that whether Lucy, Heather, Bobby, I don't know. There's a lot of girls that I think led me down the wrong road, but that's the way I see it.
Hey, but from it, there's some kids. I mean, you had a lot of fun with Franco. That was a good thing that came from the Heather romance and relationship. I mean, the what you were able to bring with Roger Howarth was something that brought me in every single week watching that relationship.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a good time with Roger. I never knew what he was going to do, and I'm not sure he knew what I was going to do. So it was one of those marriages where let's hope for the best. And we usually they'll tell you, if you talk to anybody at General Hospital, when they do the Christmas outtake reel, the two actors that have the most on the reel are Roger and me. So what is that tells you that we were doing our best to get. So whatever you saw seemed spontaneous and fun, probably was.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know you're just having just as much fun doing it as we are watching it.
Yep.
Yeah, that is cool. I have a question for you. If you could bring back any actor, character, alive or not, if the actor's alive or not, if you could bring them back and just like do a little storyline with them, who would you love to see come back?
Well, I would, there's some actors when I was there when I was younger, and I the great Gerald Gordon, who played Dr. Dante, and of course, Peter Hansen and Susan Brown, if they were, not still alive, or if any of these guys were still alive, I would love to, get to work with them again. And now at my age, and they would be slightly older, but I mean, I would think it would be fun to work with them. And, I've crossed paths with so many different actors on so many different shows that, there's not a bad one in the bunch. I've had fun with everybody. So, I got no complaints about anybody. So I would, anyone that wants to come back, that could come back, I would say, I hope I have scenes with you. But, I hope we get some scenes together. I hope we get some good scenes. I hope we have any scenes,
I get that. And people must be chomping at the bit for the little bit of screen time that's allotted out for all of the different characters and the sections of the show that are afforded to some. Because I had a chance to talk to Taj Bello, who plays TJ at the convention. And he, too, is someone that is just so ready for some juicy, meaty something to chomp on while he is on screen. So I hope people get it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a soap opera actor. Think of them as, wild animals, and all they really want is just fresh meat.
Yeah.
They just want some fresh meat to eat. That's all. That's all actors want is just give me some meat. I don't care. Is it old meat, new meat? Any meat. But any meat will do.
Meat. Hey, you were able to get some meat when it came to Franco's passing away, and they gave you and Scotty some time to reminisce about children that have passed in his life previously, but also reminded everybody that Sabrina's still around. Still some more family connections out there.
Yeah, Serena's out there, and there's also, back when we did Port Charles. Lucy and I adopted little baby Christina, but I don't know, when I left Port Charles to go flip back to General Hospital, I don't know what they did about the baby Christina character. So theoretically, I know that she was adopted, that we adopted her. So I don't know what happened to that character. And of course, Serena is still around and out there doing something. And however, Franco and what was that kid's name? It was Logan. And Logan, Karen, they're gone. So yeah, they're those. So yeah, that's it. You're right.
And that's why you hate Sonny to this day, is because of Karen, right?
Yeah. That he did a lot of bad stuff back then, and it's kind of an old beef that we've had, but it still plays because he did back when Sonny was not a great guy. He was like the early days of Luke Spencer wasn't a great guy until he ran off with my wife, and then all of a sudden he's now a good guy. He's the hero.
Laura, always bringing out the best in people.
What?
Laura, always bringing out the best in people.
Oh, yes.
Scotty had another chance with Laura. You had another wedding with her. I just watched it a couple of days ago. It was lovely.
Yeah, I know. I remember we did that. I don't know what the point of that was because we got divorced pretty quickly after that. Yeah, I don't know. I do remember getting married for the second time to her. Yeah.
I would think that scene work with Genie must be so fun because you guys have so much history. You must know each other so well, and it must, there's not that many actors out there that have your kind of circumstance of being able to peer into the same trustworthy 45 years later eyes and run scenes with her. It must be wonderful.
Yes, yes, and. Genie has a photographic memory. I only just recently found that out. So yes, when I look into her eyes, I can see that she also knows my lines as well. So it's always comforting that she can jump in at any given time. Yeah, I have some stuff coming up with her at the anniversary show. So it was very fun to work with her. And if you can get Genie to laugh in a scene, you're ahead of the game because she has to be very serious, but sometimes you can get her to laugh, and that's basically my goal. Yeah.
And then you get a chuckle out of her and Scotty.
Yes, and I get that, and then I feel like it's 45 years ago.
Oh man, it's like revisiting your old high school. It's just like time has never passed or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like Marty McFly. I put back into my old high school again, but I'm in that time machine. I get in a time machine and I can go back and feel like I'm back with Genie again, back with Bobby, back with Lucy. Yeah, that's the beauty about soap operas, is that, you can throw two actors together that haven't been together for a while, and you're basically in a time machine. You pushed old Rod Taylor out of his machine and climbed in it. For those of you who know who Rod Taylor was in the movie The Time Machine.
What were those people called? They were mucklucks. What were they called? The folks?
Morlocks.
There you go.
Morlocks. Yeah, they were very
Morlocks. Oh yeah, I watched that. Gosh, I watched that 3:30 in the afternoon movie right after General Hospital at some point.
Yeah, the Morlocks were the bad guys, and the beautiful people were the Eloys.
Oh, yeah, and it looked like he had a roulette wheel behind the time machine, right?
Yeah, he had. Yeah, I wish I had that machine. I'd like to take a couple of spins around the decades. Yes.
So do you have any classic cars, Ken? I would think you would have a classic car or two. Do you?
I've had nothing but classic cars over the years. I can't even remember how and where the cars disappeared to, and how many different convertibles and sports cars, and I just had a lot of cars over the years, and now I only have one car. But I used to have a lot of fun. You could go to a car show and pick up for $1,000 a vintage Corvair, a Ford Falcon convertible. You could get all those fun cars from the 60s and get them cheap, that you could, go, wow, I have a Corvair, and drive it for, 6 months. And how are you going to lose money? I mean, the car only cost $1,000 in the first place. So, what I'm saying, that you were able to pick up such great cars. These, cars, if you wanted to get a Corvair, it probably cost you $25,000 to find a Corvair these days. But back not too long ago in the 90s, you could go to the Pomona car show and buy these cars for peanuts and drive them around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you only have one car right now. I thought you'd have some.
Well, I have two Vespas. I have a Vespa.
There you go.
Yeah.
And between the Vespa and the car, it's tough to. Which one do I drive today? Which one do I drive? It's kind of, you don't want to make. Thank God I don't have, a bunch of cars. I'd be just standing in the driveway staring at all my cars going, which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one today? Which one feels right? Is it a yellow day? Is it a red day?
Yes. What day? Yes, exactly.
I have a couple of cars on my history that I wish I wouldn't have gotten rid of. One of them was my 65 Mustang. I wish I still had it. One is my 67 Malibu. I wish I still had it. My titty pink 61 Cadillac. I wish I still had it. So you've got to have one or two that you say, dang it, I wish I wouldn't have got rid of it.
Oh, I have a bunch of cars that I don't know. Like I said, I skipped around. All of a sudden I'm in New York, where you don't need a car. So I get rid of cars. So, yes, I have a huge car regret. There's many of the cars that I go, why? But I don't know where they'd be parked now, in a garage, and I'd be paying insurance and storage, and it'd be like, oh right, well, I have all those. I'd be like Jay Leno. What am I going to do with all those cars?
That's exactly.
So no.
I'm going to invite Kat from the 10th floor. She comes too. I'm right down to LA and go for fruit with you.
No, I had the fun, and when I see a Eldo convertible, or I see a car that I once owned, I tell the owner, I said, I had that car once. It's a great car. So yeah, I have my memories.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually seen one of my old Mustangs running around town before, and I was like, dang.
Like
I named them all too. That was Chuck the Mustang. Dang, there's Chuck.
Right. Yeah, that's yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, we really enjoy you with Liesel. I love you with Liesel. I think the two of you are so dang funny and so fun. I don't know, the deep kisses, not so much, but
oh, they're young and in love, Ma. Come on.
But love Liesl and Scotty. I just love that they put you guys together and hope to leave you all together.
Well, you know what? There's that all comes out very soon. On that 15th anniversary show, Liesl and I, you know, I'm very much involved with her in that show as well as with Genie. So yes, it's a big show full of a lot of Scotty business that will be, you know, people will say, well, what was he thinking? Anyway, you'll see.
Well, I'm just hoping going forward that Scotty is still able to practice law and not only just in the food court.
Yeah. Well,
That was a great line. I loved it.
I don't think that I was disbarred, so I just that was so I can still practice law. You know, there'll be more cases, I'm sure, coming my way at some point.
He either needs.
Was that line written for you, or did you come up with that on your own? That
the food court line?
Yeah, it's so funny.
You know, I believe that was. I think that was they wrote that line, and I read it, and you know, usually I'm just reading all the courtroom dialogue, going, "Oh my God, there's a lot of dialogue." And then when I read, "I'll be lucky if I practice in a food court," I think I remember laughing and saying, "Well, that's worth learning 50,000 pages to get to that line." Yeah, that was a good line. That I don't know which one of the writers. I don't know which writer wrote it, but believe me, I can't take credit for that line. I can take credit for a few of the other ones, but not that one.
Can you take credit for? Come on, Bobby. I'll give you a ride in my convertible. Can you take credit for that one?
Well, that was completely ad lib. Yes,
I love it.
That was. I felt that Scotty Baldwin, the image of Scotty Baldwin having a convertible would be funny enough.
Yeah.
You know, just that
well,
he's
your hair
driving on a
certainly
convertible.
Looks like it's been in a convertible usually.
Yeah, it's usually standing up like a broom. But I always think that if you're going to say something, you should give an audience sort of a visual in their head. Don't say, I left my car downstairs. Say, I left my new convertible downstairs. Let the audience think that you left. I left my my vintage, my old Plymouth downstairs. I mean, but give the audience something in their head. So when I said, "Come on, Bobby, I'll ride you on my convertible," you got the image of me and her in a converable.
Just that
so I
Bobby's
believe
red hair flying behind her.
Yes, as it used to on the back of my motorcycle back in the late 70s. Yeah, she used to ride on my motorcycle all the time. So,
right.
Yeah,
It
was a good time.
Well, I mean, we got exciting stuff coming on the 15,000th episode of General Hospital with Scotty, with Obrecht and all that. I personally, I would love to see Scotty find a law partner and maybe Martin Gray. I think that'd be a lot of fun. The Southern fried lawyer, along with Scotty Baldwin, defending the rights of people out there, or maybe as
that
rivals.
would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. And Laura come in too, because that's Martin's sister. Great.
Yeah, I we have a lot of lawyers on the show. I just went up against Diane, the lawyer. I haven't been up against Nancy Grahn for a while. I used to go up against Rick Hurst. I went up against another guy, and what was the other lawyer? There's always, yeah.
There was another lawyer named Trevor some time ago.
No, I didn't go up against him. I did go up against Martin Gray in the courtroom over Franco.
Oh yeah.
We already did that. We did do that, and who haven't I been up against? I haven't been up against. I've been up against the new DA. Yeah, I guess I'm. Spent a lot of time in the courtroom.
Well practiced, well earned. Every dollar that Scotty Baldwin has, he has gotten through scruples. We'll just say.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Well, if I recall, Scotty Baldwin inherited quite a bit of money from his wife Dominique that passed away, and I think Scotty Baldwin alleged at the one point was like kind of like Howard Hughes money I was left, and then that all of a sudden kind of got lost, and then next thing I know, I'm sort of an ambulance chaser, and I'm going, wait a minute, doesn't the Scotty Baldwin character have a fat bank account, and doesn't it belong? And isn't he a criminal lawyer? So yeah, now I'm, running around doing slip and falls. So I'll do whatever, as long as I'm that kind of lawyer,
right?
Like all lawyers. Yeah.
You just need new friends. That's all.
Yes, I need the higher paying clients. Yeah.
All right, Ken. Well, I really appreciate you clearing the time that you had today to sit down and talk with us here on the 10th floor. The chat has absolutely loved everything that you have contributed. People have really just been reacting to what you have to say. I don't even have any fresh questions in here other than, what's your favorite General Hospital moment, which I'm sure you've been asked 1.5 million times over the lifetime.
And I've got 1.5 million comments. So there you go.
Well, there we go.
So yes, there's been millions of memorable things that have happened in 45 years. So yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Well, Fido Xavier, the director on General Hospital, was in the chat as well, and he wanted to make sure that I said hello. Hi from Fido.
Oh, I love Fido. Fido is my pal. He will pretty much let me do a lot of things that he loves it. He loves the medium, and he's a good director, and he'll take the time and get it right. He's good. Fido's a great guy.
It's got to be great and rewarding to be surrounded with people who haven't been on the show for 45 years, but still carry around a lot of passion for the art form and the medium of soap operas. I personally find it to be one of the most engaging forms of long form storytelling that exists on TV, and I absolutely love it. So I can only imagine being behind the scenes and being somebody that contributes to it and produces it and creates it and makes it real.
Yeah, there's anybody that's done daytime soap operas, some homeless guy on a bicycle years ago in Santa Monica looked at me, and I think I gave him $5, and he says, You're that guy that's on the those slow dramas. And I said, I've never heard it put that way, but you're right, buddy. That is pretty much what we're on. Slow dramas. I don't know where he came up with it, but he was on a bicycle, and I said, I should that should be the title of my book one day. At that point, now it'd be 45 years in slow dramas.
That's a really accurate description.
Well, are you thinking about writing a book?
No, I think books are. I'm working more on a one-man show of stuff. I'm just trying to figure out how my format and how to do it and how to use clips, and so I'm working on that right now. But as far as writing a book, I think it's a visual medium now. I think to go on stage and tell your story and through clips and anecdotes is better than thinking that some guy walking down pushing their at a bookstore that says, oh, let's so that's why I'm not writing a book.
Well,
the book days have come and gone. What?
If you do get together, if you do get that one-man stage show together, Matt and I'll be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I'll rope off the front row, 2 seats in the front row.
Yeah, just keep in touch. We'll make sure that we follow along with that. Absolutely.
All right. Well, you guys have a great Sunday.
Yeah,
it's Sunday, right?
It's Sunday. It's Sunday morning.
Okay, and look forward to that 15,000 show coming up. It's going to be fun.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here on the 10th floor. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Right.
Okay, you guys are big fans. Stay tuned, as they say. All right.
All right. Thank you, Ken.
All right. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
If I can get off of this now. I'm not sure I can get on. Is there a button I press?
Oh, gosh. There you go. Well, the camera's gone.
Let me see how I... There, okay. No, you're still there. We're still together. Let's see. I press.
Here, I'll. There we go.
There he is.
Oh, okay. Good times. Okay, all right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us with our time with Ken. I know that oh gosh, the screen is now all funky weird. Uh,
Trying to see what time it is.
but thank you. We'll be back on a fresh feed here to talk a little bit about General Hospital, but it'll be probably pretty quick and fast because there's only 4 episodes anyway. Thanks.